It's Thursday Night Football on EA Sports. Baker Mayfield and the Carolina Panthers versus Marcus Mariota and the Atlanta Falcons.
And we welcome all of our viewers inside a place that the folks around here like to call the Vault, and that's Bank of America Stadium in Uptown Charlotte. Tonight, it's on to Week 10 already, and we've got a good one in store between the Atlanta Falcons and the Carolina Panthers. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And Charles, we look at this Panther ball club as they interplay here. They come in losers of 2 straight, so they're trying to right the ship here a little bit.
They're teetering a little bit, aren't they? And now things could really go south if they lose this game. So they understand the importance of playing well and stopping this streak.
And they'll start this drive just across the 30. Pretty nice work on the return. The Falcons now get to stretch their wings on offense here, and at quarterback for them is a former 2nd overall pick who spent 4 seasons as a starter in Tennessee, Marcus Mariota.
Coming out of Oregon as the Heisman Trophy winner, we thought that this guy was headed towards superstardom, and while he didn't quite reach those heights, he did have some flashes along the way. And right now, his athleticism continues to keep him in the league. Still has a good arm, mobile, a great guy to have in the locker room. He can win if given an opportunity.
And he'll get this to the 32. Well, CD, you see some of the injuries that have popped up for this franchise, and obviously hoping to get these guys back sooner rather than later.
Yeah, and these guys, they've been hearing the mantra, next man up, since their Friday night light games in high school. It's 3 simple words, but they're absolutely perfect to use, and everyone has adopted them. Next guy up, do your best.
And that's caught. It's Brian Edwards. But that last throw, Charles, puts him over 15,000 yards passing now for his career.
And Brandon, they're not going to stop the game and give him the game ball here, but that's still a pretty impressive number, and he's got plenty of more good football ahead of him. Although I would say the team should give him a game ball after it's all over.
3rd down turns to 1st with that 5-yard pickup. The Falcons at 4-5, a game under 500. They were losers their last time out. Trying to get back in the win column, but obviously not an easy task here in a hostile environment.
Yeah, always tough to win away from home. But sometimes what you do is you use these types of games as bonding experiences and carry that into the contest.
1st and 10, it's Patterson. And some room to maneuver. And he goes down, but not before getting this inside the 25. Well, they had a gain of 10 last time, now a gain of 20 here. Now, look, that wasn't a huge gain, but those are the types of carries I think they were missing in their loss last week. They couldn't get him going on the ground.
Did you get the same feeling I did during our meetings, that they kind of regretted that he didn't touch the ball?
Absolutely.
You know, hey, he should have touched it more last week. They weren't going to make that same mistake, and they've taken care of that early.
These 2 teams, they met in Atlanta earlier in the year with the Falcons winning that game. So a win here in Charlotte would give them the season sweep. And not much of a hole there as he gets it down to about the 24-yard line. They do get a yard there, but only a yard. Leaves them with 3rd and 9 looming. But not much on that run, Charles.
No, that's exactly the way to execute a run blitz there. They guessed correctly that they would move the ball on the ground, honed in on it, and stopped them. Mark that down for a win in the defense's column.
So the pass incomplete in the end zone, but the flag comes out for interference.
And now you're set up right on the doorstep of the goal line. 1 yard away changes what your play calls are going to be.
So the ball's moved to about the 1 after the penalty, 1st and goal. This to Pitts, and he's got him. Touchdown, Atlanta. Kyle Pitts. His third touchdown now on the year. And the Falcons will claim the early lead as they're on the board first here tonight.
You got it figured out by the goal line. This is where a tight end earns his money, in the high traffic area. And he's able to work free in the middle of the end zone and grabs that one for a touchdown.
Now the extra point try forthcoming. He hasn't missed an extra point all season, and he won't miss this one either, and it's 7-0. So that drive in total 8 plays. And it was the tight end Kyle Pitts finishing it all off on the touchdown reception. Following the touchdown, here's Koo to kick off. And here comes a return from just beyond the goal line. And they'll get him down right at the 25-yard line, so the same result, and he opted for the touchback. Here are the Panthers out for their first possession and leading the offense in his first season with the team, quarterback Baker Mayfield.
And last week's loss came despite a clean game on his end, throwing the ball with 2 touchdowns and 0 interceptions. His job this week is simple. Do it again. Continue to avoid turnovers and hope that what sunk them last week resolves itself this time around.
Mayfield and the Panthers now with a 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. They'll try and start this drive in the air. Thomas has got it, complete. And he'll be upended at the 28-yard line. Just a 3-yard gain there. Charles, Thursday night game, I think a lot of teams probably say shrink the playbook somewhat. Is that correct?
I think you're right about that because you just don't have the amount of time that you have in a normal week to put in a full playbook. So as you said, you shrink the playbook. Pick out the plays that work best for you. And you know what else you're looking for?
What's that?
Who are the freshest guys? Coming off of the last game to play on a Thursday night, guys have a little extra pep in their step. You go to them early and often.
On 3rd down, Mayfield. Got a man, that's Rashard Higgins. And he is going to have the Panthers first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
I know at the end of games, coaches always tell us that no one play won or lost a game. But this seems pretty important early, doesn't it? Their ability to pick up that first down on 3rd down, I thought that was key.
Well, you're already in the hole after the touchdown on the other side. How will you respond? We talk about that a lot, and they responded pretty well there. You go 3 and out, I think you give up a lot of momentum. You get down 2 scores, could be an entirely different game.
So they've got a nice drive going now. They're in good shape. What's interesting to me is they're also in that spot of the field where you would take a shot. Do you change that up just because you're down a touchdown?
And that's going to be good for another first down as the tackle's made at the Falcons' 35. Throwing, Mayfield. And this is going to be incomplete. The intended receiver there, Ian Thomas. And it's 2nd down. To throw, Mayfield. His throw incomplete.
They certainly thought he had an open look beyond the first down marker to his receiver, but they just couldn't connect, and that will send them back to the drawing board.
Mayfield to throw it. And the throw there going to be incomplete.
I don't think either one of us is surprised about who they just targeted on that one. I mean, they're going to try and get to him as much as possible. Off to a nice start, but unable to haul that one in.
Yeah, already looked his way a couple of times on this opening drive. Can't connect there. And he hits the upright, but it caroms in anyway. Boy, plenty of distance there as he banks it in. And they are on the board, but still trailing. It's 7-3. The distance was never the question there, but he gets a friendly bounce to carom that thing through the uprights.
Yeah, and when you're trying to hit from 50-plus, you got to expect the ball's going to slide one way or the other. So he's pretty fortunate there that he's able to bank this one in.
Taking it about the 1. And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line. So for the 2nd time in this one, we get set to see the Falcons offense. And they come into this one off the loss over the weekend. But you say if you're going to play a Thursday night game, this is the week to do it.
It certainly is, because you get right back out there. You don't have time to dwell on things. And look, your game plan is going to be a little more limited, but so is theirs. So that's when you just appeal to your top players. Guys, you make plays in this one, we out-execute them, we can walk away with a win.
On first down, going back to Patterson. And he's finally taken down, and it's a big gain there on what will turn out to be the final play of this first quarter. After one, 7-3 the score on EA Sports. Once more, they turn to Patterson, and he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up.
They suspected it was a power play up the middle coming at them, and boy, were they right. That defense got downhill in a hurry and limited them to just a couple on first down.
Mariota's throw taken in by London. And all the way down inside the 5 to the 4. That puts him in excellent position, 1st and goal after a gain of 19.
Boy, how about the speed with which this offense can get down the field? It's taken them no time at all to get down here, and now they're set up with a 1st and goal.
Patterson will get about halfway there as he takes this from the 4 down to the 2. It's a gain of a couple, and it'll be 2nd and goal.
All of a sudden, those lanes that were there earlier in the drive dry up near the goal line. That's a good job defensively to diagnose the run and stop it.
And he will take it in for a Falcon touchdown. Cordero Patterson with his 6th rushing touchdown on the year. And they are able to add on to their advantage. And he was excellent on that drive. He deserved to be the one to get across the chalk.
Oh, I agree with you totally. A workhorse on the drive. And how about that last decisive run to punch it in?
Coup for the extra point. And this one's right through to make it a 14-3 ball game. A drive that time of 6 plays. And it's culminated by a 2-yard touchdown run. Following the touchdown, here's Koo to kick off. No run back here, down to a knee, and this drive will start at the 25. The Panthers coming back out onto the field for their 2nd drive. And they are losers of 2 straight coming into this Thursday night game. Is it more difficult, CD, when you take a losing streak into a quick turnaround game like this?
It certainly is, because you don't get time to work on the issues that you've had throughout the season that caused you to have the record that you're having. You can't really get those set. So now you're trying to minimize those and maximize what you've been doing well. And I remember a game recently where one of the assistant coaches said to the head coach, forget our running back rotation. This guy has a hot hand, and they rode him to a victory. Those are things you have to look out for in games like this.
So the failure to connect on 2nd down, that leaves them staring up here at a 3rd and 8. And that will be incomplete.
Like what I see so far out of this defense, because they've been showing their best coverages on 3rd down. So far, only allowed 1 conversion on a handful of attempts. One area of their game plan that they've executed to perfection.
This is taken at about the 14. So the punt goes for 56 with a decent return of 13. And the Falcons will be taking over 1st and 10. The do-it-all weapon, Cordero Patterson, coming back out. And it may just be the 2nd quarter, but he's in his zone, well on his way to eclipsing that 100-yard mark.
And when a back has a game, as we're witnessing right now, his name's going to be in the books, but it's really a collective deal, isn't it? Because that means he's getting plenty of blocking, a lot of help from his teammates, but he's making the most of it.
Yeah, he's made the most of it to this point. And hold on here, because on that last run, it looks like we have a player who was shaken up. The medical staff will attend to him, and we will step aside. From the 31, Mariota. Throw left side complete. That's Patterson. 2 yards on the pickup there. And now it's 3rd and 3. Coming up here looking for 3 yards to pick up the first. 3rd and short yardage, Mariota. And that is incomplete, but a penalty flag coming in. This could be a 1st down. Well, the crowd doesn't like that. Was going to bring up fourth. Now it's first.
They don't like it at all, do they? It brings them back into it, but really not in a positive way. Now they're angry. That can jangle a team a little bit as well. Pass interference ruined that series of downs for them.
Now left side, a completion to his tight end. And he's going to get this inside the 30. Another big gainer that time. This one goes for 19 yards. Mariota on first down. And this one is incomplete. Well, the Falcons and Panthers, of course, division rivals. But it wasn't a great year for either offense last year, that's for sure. Look at the final numbers. The Falcons, they were 29th in the league in total yardage. The Panthers were 30th. Certainly both. That ball is caught. It's London for the Atlanta touchdown. A great effort there. 29 yards as his guys are able to push that lead out a bit further. So, Charles, that's 3 touchdowns on 3 drives, and it's just been an offensive barrage so far.
Great word, partner, using barrage right there. I'm going to add another word if you don't mind. How about perfection? No surprise that they're leading right now. Absolute dominance throughout this ball game and no signs of slowing down.
Extra point by Koo, up and good. And the lead is up to 18 now. 5 plays there on that drive. And it was finished off by a touchdown catch from Drake London. Following the touchdown, here's Koo to kick off. And he'll elect not to return this one, so they'll bring it out to the 25 on the touchback. The Panthers offense here, they get ready to head back on the field. And this, let's face it, an important drive if they're going to get back into this ballgame.
Think about going into the locker room down 21-10 as opposed to 21-3. 21-10, a little more optimism, a little more bounce around the locker room, a little more discussion about how they're going to finish this thing off. 21-3. I think discouragement clouds that locker room.
Yeah, and I think a touchdown much bigger than a field goal on this drive just to get into the end zone and get that momentum. And give him 4 yards there. It'll be 2nd and 6.
I feel like I could see what he was thinking on that carry. Wanted to follow that big tackle through the hole. Ended up only getting 4 yards on the carry. I think he had designs on that one being bigger.
All right, rifles one, and that's going to be intercepted. Picked off by A.J. Terrell. 1:57 to go in this first half on EA Sports. Coming up at halftime, I'll go from one personality, that's you, Charles Davis, to another one in Orlando, the coach. He'll have stats and scores from around the NFL. You and Jonathan Coachman both larger than life.
No doubt about it.
But you're stuck with me in this booth,
yes,
and he's miles away and smiling.
And happy. But defensively, you're over there trying to catch your breath and try not to show the offense that you're a little bit fatigued. You're right back out there after the turnover. Now they've got to work towards getting another couple of stops and forcing them into at least a long field goal situation.
And this is caught inside the 5. And they will eventually get him down, but he's inside the 5 all the way to the 3. 33 yards that time. That's evidence of why you spend a high draft pick on a receiver, isn't it, Charles?
It certainly is. His ability to make plays like that, and we've seen flashes of it from him so far in his rookie season. But also, it opens things up for the rest of the offense because they have to bring their attention.
And this is caught for a Falcon touchdown. Anthony Ferguson, his first touchdown on the year. And the Falcons are able to add on to their first half lead. The touchdown all set up by the big play one snap before, but they finish it off here with a shorter completion, this time for the score.
I like how they stuck with what got them there, right? The big pass play, got the momentum going, right? You create it with a play like that, and you come right back with another pass play to finalize things off.
Koo able to connect on the extra point, and the route is on here in this first half. Following the touchdown, here's Koo to kick off. And this will not be returned. It's a touchback, and they'll begin at the 25. And now this offense comes back out onto the field. And Charles, we'll see what they can do here. Not a ton of time left, but enough certainly to get points out of this drive, and they need them right now because they're trailing.
Yeah, and this is exactly why you practice a 2-minute drill all through camp and at least one practice each week before.
Oh, he tries to force it in, and it's intercepted. And the Falcons are going to take possession of the football.
And this is so uncharacteristic for him this season. Back-to-back interceptions from the guys taking really good care of the ball so far this season. Got to give credit to the defensive coaches, the players on the opposing sideline. Excellent preparation, even better execution.
Following the interception here, Mariota. Pass complete to Cordero Patterson out of the backfield. Touchdown, Falcons! Cordero Patterson. He scored on the ground and through the air. And the Falcons are able to strike quickly to add on to their lead.
Okay, we need to double check here with Marvin because he keeps all of our good stats, but what I've got is 5 drives, 5 touchdowns, and they've got a nice, healthy lead.
Well, after the first drive, we thought things might be clicking. They're really clicking at this point. They're clicking about as much as they can click.
And right
I just said click a lot.
Yes, you did, but that's okay because the guy who's coordinating the defense, trying to slow them down.
Good luck.
He's going to have hair that looks like mine very soon. Not much of it.
Following the touchdown, here's Koo to kick off. And there will not be a return here. It's a touchback, and it'll come out to the 25-yard line. Now this offense back out and set to go for their next drive. And for this offense, Charles, you got to think kind of crucial here to put something together on this drive because remember, last time out, they threw the interception on the very first play.
And you can't afford to let this defense keep building any more momentum. They're playing awfully well, and they're awfully confident right now. To me, it's time to attack and take some of that momentum back. But make sure you're selective in doing so. Understand where you want to throw the football and make sure it's open before the ball leaves your hands.
Mayfield now looking to throw on first down. He gets it to Thomas. And a 5-yard gain gets him to the 42. The Panthers going to use the second of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 55 seconds to go until halftime. To throw again on second down. Mayfield looking underneath and finding Hubbard. And they're able to work this across midfield to the 48. They're going to need to get up and set in a hurry. Going to the air again with Mayfield. That'll be caught right side. Chenault with it. And he's going to be out of bounds, but not before he takes it inside the 40. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. Mayfield. Looking left side, and he's got a man. That's Hubbard. And he gets it down a yard or two shy of the 30 before he's out of bounds. 2nd and 5. Now Mayfield. And Thomas has it. And that's going to be good for another 1st down as the tackle's made at the Falcons' 21. Now the Panthers going to signal for their 3rd and final timeout, as they'll stop it with 14 seconds to go in this first half. So even though it's 1st down, here's the field goal unit on now to try to get 3 before halftime. The kick by Pinheiro is good. And that will knock this down to still a very large 29-point deficit. So the 3 points here, they're still down, but they put somewhat of a dent into that lead going into the break.
Anything helps when you're trying to chip away at a lead, but they do know that they're going to need a little bit better effort in the second half.
And he'll be out of bounds across the 25. About set to begin their next drive, the Falcons offense at the line. And they'll indeed start on the ground to run that clock. And he'll just push his way forward for a few as the clock will run. So we have reached halftime now with the visiting Falcons out on top. As we'll send you down the coast now to Orlando, that's where we find Jonathan Coachman ready with our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
All right, guys, thanks very much. We'll get back with you shortly. But first, let's take a look at what's coming up this weekend around the NFL. Some great games coming up this weekend, beginning with the NFL's first ever game in Germany. Seattle and Tampa Bay from Allianz Arena in Munich. Oh, that'll be fun. Later in the afternoon, a lot of the country will be watching the game at Lambeau Field in Green Bay, where it'll be the Packers taking on the Dallas Cowboys. And then finally, Monday Night Football. It's our first look at the Commanders on a Monday night as they travel to Philly for a good one in the NFC East. In our game, it was Marcus Mariota with a strong first half. His guys are on the road to Blowout City. They lead it big as we send you back out to Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Okay, Coach, thanks as always to you and the gang in Orlando as we welcome everyone back in for quarter number 3. The Panthers going to get the football first, trailing here as well as we resume play in this second half. From a couple yards deep, he'll bring it out of the end zone. And this return will net positive as he gets past the 25 and up to the 27-yard line. The Panthers ready to go back to work to start the third quarter. CD, they certainly know the hole that they face as they begin the second half. They have to do what precious few teams have done in NFL history, and that's try to come back from a 4-possession deficit.
And partner, you know, as that team gathers, they're saying to each other, you never say never, right? Because if you're on an NFL roster, that's how you have to think. You can always come back and win a ball game. And let's face it, we saw a certain Super Bowl, a 25-point lead late, that wasn't enough to put someone away. But that being said, this task is near impossible. Let's face it. And bottom line is, it officially becomes impossible if this possession is an empty one.
It seemed like he kept going through those progressions, and I thought he might dump that underneath, but he couldn't get rid of the football in time.
And I have to wonder if he was thinking while he was back there, I wish there were a lot less progressions on this play, just someone that I can dump the ball to and get it out of my hands.
Mayfield from the gun on third down, and that is incomplete.
Well, this is just a continuation of what we saw in the first half. So much for the fresh start to begin the third quarter. Still off-target throws, no rhythm throwing the football, and obviously no touchdown scored in this game.
On is the punter, Hecker, as he gets this one away. Fielded at the 20. And past the 40 before he's out of bounds. A great return there of 22 yards. And it will be Falcon football. So here are the Falcons to take over on offense. They've got the lead here as they begin this drive, trying to get that bad taste out of their mouth from the loss last week to the LA Chargers. Good starting field position for them as they come up 1st and 10 at their own 42. And able to work about 5 yards out of this as he's taken down up near the 47.
Oh, that was a thing of beauty right there. Look at how quick those blockers fired off the line once the ball was snapped. That was an O-line on a mission, all in sync, and the defense is lucky that play only picked up 5 yards.
And he'll be brought down inside the 40-yard line.
This is just more of the same. This defense has had no answer on a lot of these throws. They've let these receivers run wild, and here's another completion for good yardage.
Patterson, he'll try it up the middle. And he'll be brought down just outside of the 30. 97 yards for him on the ground now. He has been a tough man to bring down all night.
Good yardage there on first down. Exactly what you want. Get yourself set up to keep making first downs, keep the clock running. And if they're smart, you're starting to milk the clock. No hurry before you run your second down play.
On second down, a run with Patterson. And they'll be inside the 25 now at the 24. 6 yards the pickup, and that's a first down.
Well, you certainly have to give a little credit here because they are playing this game now at their pace. This is ball control football, sustained runs, taking their time, and making it work.
And he gets it inside the 10 to the 9. That gain of 15 gets him on the doorstep, 1st and goal.
We don't talk about it very often, but sometimes there's a dip in intensity when you start the second half, which can manifest itself in some sloppy tackling. And how about right there? He ran right through that weak tackle attempt.
They'll run with Patterson. And he'll take this from the 9 down to about the 7.
The yards may start getting a little tougher to come by down here near the goal line. That's good work defensively there on 1st down, holding them to a short gain.
Here's Patterson again. And he'll take it into the end zone. Touchdown, Atlanta. Cordero Patterson. His 3rd touchdown of the game, his 8th on the year. And the Falcons have taken a 5-touchdown lead. Koo now for the point after. And the lead grows even larger here in the 3rd quarter. So that winds up a 7-play drive all told. And in the end, it's capped off by a 7-yard run. Following the touchdown, here's Koo to kick off. From a yard or 2 deep, here comes a return. And up to about the 26-yard line, just across the 25. This Carolina offense at the line, ready to go. Well, we're still in the 3rd quarter, so there's some time to kind of clean this up and make it look more respectable. Now, a win, that's probably gone out the window, Charles, but I don't know. Do you look at this as a time to just improve and maybe start to look towards the future?
I think you have to find something to play for, something to grasp onto until the clock runs out. But, Brandon, we've been around this game a long time. This is an outlier. You don't get many blowouts like this no matter how the game looks on paper going in. This one has turned out to be everyone's worst nightmare realized.
In search of 4 yards here to pick up the 1st down. Here's Mayfield. Able to complete this to Chenault. And he is going to have the Panthers 1st down by about 3 yards or so as they wind up getting 7 there on 3rd and 4.
Well, part of their struggles in the 1st half was their inability to convert consistently on 3rd down. But how about this well-designed play? Gave himself plenty of options and able to get the hook up and keep the drive going.
Yeah, boy, this defense again really making things tough on him as they stop him for no gain. No gain on the play. It'll be 2nd down. 1 quarter remains here in this Thursday night matchup. You are watching the NFL on EA Sports. Mayfield now. He finds his man complete. It's Thomas. Finding room at midfield. And they'll get this down to around the 47-yard line. Well, I mean, look, obviously there's no 20 or 30-point play in that playbook, but they can try to end things here on a positive note despite trailing big, and that looks like what they're trying to do here by pushing the ball downfield.
Well, let me go with the heavy cliche then, partner. Just control what you can control right now, and all they can control here is how their final plays develop.
Mayfield off the play fake. He's got a man on the crossing route. That's more. And that's going to be good for another 1st down as the tackle's made at the Falcons' 18. From the red zone now, they'll look to throw. And his throw is incomplete.
They lead big, and a major part of that has been how they've taken their play to a whole new level this 2nd half. No points allowed since the break, and you can add another incompletion to the total number that they've forced in this runaway contest.
To throw once more on 2nd and 10. Mayfield, nowhere to go here. He lost the football.
Much like a running back going through the line, quarterbacks have to be aware of protecting the football as well. He left it exposed that time, wound up having it knocked free, but fortunately, had an alert teammate who was able to get it.
So they recover their own fumble. Now they face 3rd and short. Mayfield looks to throw. And he's going to be intercepted for the third time thus far. Picked by Nick Kwiatkowski. And the Falcons are going to have the football at their own 1-yard line. But with this advantage, this defense knew that passes were coming, and they stayed in position, Charles, and picked one off here in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, what a way to cap things off, huh? Because I think this is part of the game within the game. They see the scoreboard, they see what they can accomplish, and they went for it.
Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
Well, he got what he could there, just trying to move forward and gain a little bit of yardage and create some space. You know the pressure is going to be tough defensively.
The run only got a yard. Here's 2nd and 9. Out of his end zone, Mariota. And that'll be off the mark, too far out in front, and it's incomplete.
Partner, in the sportsmanship handbook, there's something to be said for calling the dogs off in a blowout. But these defenders, they also know this is the NFL, and it's their job to stop them, whether they're in the game or they're down by a handful of touchdowns.
Now a shot taken on 3rd down, but it's going to wind up incomplete. Well, their passing attack, even though that one was incomplete, has been really sharp in this one. It's resulted in a lot of touchdowns, and it looks like they're not going to stop throwing the football until the very end of this one.
Well, that will certainly make everyone involved on offense pretty happy, because that gives them all a chance to pad their stats a bit. But as far as the actual need, you and I both know they can just run this clock out, because this one, it was over a long time ago.
And onto the field, here come the Panthers. And they unfortunately are staring at a mini losing streak developing, trailing here in the fourth quarter. This would be their 3rd straight defeat. Trying to shake off the interception, he'll look to throw. And that one off the mark behind him, incomplete.
And that's another play that's painted the picture of this game overall. It's been a blowout. It's been continually fueled by big turnovers and stops for one side, and an inability to advance the ball from the other.
And he'll be upended at the 33 following a gain of 3. And guess what? It brings up 3rd down. The Panthers on 3rd down. They've converted just 2 for 6 thus far. This is 3rd and 7. Now back to throw. They'll run the screen with Hubbard. Good contain, no gain on the screen, and it'll bring up 4th down.
And I know that one didn't work out the way they thought, but I don't think it was a bad time to call this play. You're thinking on 3rd down, you might possibly see some pressure. You might see a blitz. So they tried to set up the screen, but that one was well read, and they stopped them for no gain.
So it's Panther football as we welcome you back. They come up on a 4th down situation with things not looking particularly rosy. Now on 4th down, on is the punt team sending this one away. And a nice job here to down this one right on the 5-yard line.
That punt was near perfection as it checked up inside the 5-yard line. You never know where these things are going to go, do you?
No, what was it? You got a John Heisman quote about that, right?
Yeah, he said the football is roughly a prolate spheroid, which means it's going to bounce funny, and you never know where it's going to end up.
And they'll get him down up past the 15. 140 yards on the ground for him now as he has gotten better, really, as the night's gone on.
Well, that's a carry they have to be satisfied with, and throughout this game, they've been satisfied with what he's given them. Whenever they've needed a big run, a 1st down, he's the guy they've turned to. And it doesn't matter what the defense thinks. They feel like they've got the confidence to keep handing it to him and keep picking up good yardage.
Again, Patterson. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
That's it. That's what you want. Straight ahead positive gain. Just keep that clock ticking.
Here's 2nd and 9, just a yard on that last run. Patterson running between the tackles. He'll be dropped at the 25 after a gain of 6.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown, because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
Off the play fake, Mariota. That'll be caught downfield by Bird. And he'll be taken down, but not before they reach the 50. It's a gain of 26 as they pick up the first down in the process. Well, this one probably not the close game you would expect or hope to see in prime time, CD. But, of course, that wasn't their intent in preparing for this one. They said they felt like their offense was ready to put up some points. And, my goodness, it has been a dominant display in front of a national audience.
Yeah, they thought it, and it certainly came to fruition, didn't it? They've been dominant in so many ways in this one. If you weren't paying attention to this group before, you certainly are now after seeing this type of victory from them.
Well, partner, under the lights in primetime, this offense, they gave the nation quite a show, putting up that many points to come away with what will certainly be a memorable win for them.
And, Brandon, I think it's as simple as this. Some players, some teams, they're just meant for the big stage. And when they get a chance to play in this type of atmosphere, where all eyes are on them and all the lights are shining brightly, they show up and they show out.
So for Atlanta, it's a win that might keep them alive in the playoffs.